Hope it works. Okay. Tell me the equation that you wrote down. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I hear about 3 people. Uh-huh. I heard 1 person. Come on, y'all. That's a long equation, right? But I just earned myself some points right there. What's the next step? Add like terms. So we've got 5x and 3x, which makes 8x. We've got 10 and 39. 49, and then plus 115 makes 164. I can't hear y'all. What is it? 164. Okay, now what? Subtract 164. What do we get? 16. Then what? Divide by 8, and we get 2. Okay, so there was our answer, and it was multiple choice. Now, if the question said, what is the measure of each angle? Pretend this is like angle A, angle B. Angle A, what would you do to solve that?
5 times 2 plus 10.
Good. 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 10 is 20 degrees. Don't forget your degree. Angle B would be 3 times 2 plus 39. So 3 times 2 is 6 plus 39 is 45. And then, as a good quiz taker, what would you do next? Add them up. You would add 20 plus 45, which is 65 plus 115 to make sure it equals 180, and it does. Okay? Are we good? Excellent. All right, guys, any questions from the homework? Questions from the homework? The key, it's funny, nobody emailed me until about 5 o'clock saying the key was missing. So that means nobody checked it.
I checked after.
And even during ELT when y'all were here, and I said, make sure you're checking with the key. Nobody said anything.
I checked
y'all said
after.
something. But why didn't y'all check during ELT?
Because I wasn't done with the home.
I thought a lot of y'all were. Sure did look like it. So there's nothing? No questions? We're good? Okay, well then we're going to move on to today's lesson, all right? So today we're working on triangles, okay? One of the things about triangles we learned last year, okay? What do we remember about triangles in last year's about their angles?
3 sides.
Thank you. Did they have 3 sides? That's from kindergarten. What else did we learn from last year?
They add up to 180.
Thank you. That all the angles in a triangle add up to 180, okay? That's something that we already know. We know that the sum of the 3 interiors that were, what does interior mean? Inside. We are on the interior of this classroom, okay? Easton is on the exterior of the classroom, okay? The interior angles in any triangle always equals 180 degrees. Okay, so here we go. We have a picture. The sum is 180. They want to know what is angle 2. So what would be the equation that we would do? Plus, we'll just call that x because we don't know it, equals 180. Then what? Yeah, so 62 plus 35 would be 97 plus x equals 180, and then x equals 83 degrees. Okay? Is everybody good with that? That was last year. Yes? No? Okay. Now, getting a little bit harder this year, what do you notice about these pictures? Yeah, they have a lot more of an equation because there's a lot more x's in them. So let's do A. What would the equation look like for A?
5x plus 5
Okay. Plus 3x plus 5. Uh-huh. Plus 90 equals 180. That's right. Write it all out. You're adding all 3 of those angles. Then what? Yeah, combine like terms. So 5x and 3x makes 8x. 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 90 is 100 equals 180. Now what? Subtract 100. Then what? Divide by 8. So x equals 10. But are we done? No, because it wants to know angle A, angle B, and angle C. Angle A means we have to come up here and plug in. So 5 times 10, 50 plus 5, 55 degrees. Don't forget your degrees. Angle B. No, angle B. It was just 90. And then angle C is 3 times 10 plus 5. So 3 times 10 is 30 plus 5 is 35. That's a 5. You can't. That's one way to do it. 35. Okay, 35 degrees. And then again, let's just really quick, we have our calculator in our hand. 55 plus 90 plus 35. Does it equal 180? Yes. So you know, this is a quick little check. It worked. Okay? Y'all want to try one by yourself? Which one? 3 or 4? 3? Okay, I heard 3. So do 3 by yourself. If you're at home, pause the video. I'm just going to start working while you're working. Can y'all see that writing with the fat marker better than the one on the left? Just curious. It's harder for me to write, but I'm wondering if it'll show up better for you guys. Y'all get x equals 6? Okay, and then we got to plug it back in. What happened? Did I make a mistake? Okay. And then just check them. 75 plus 37 plus 68. I get 180. So it does work. Questions? What can I work? Where did we go wrong? I heard some people say, what? Nobody? Okay, if there's no questions, I'm going to move on. Okay, let's look at the next one. It says in triangle JKL, angle K is 3 times the measure of J, angle L is 8 times the measure of J. Find the measure of each angle in triangle JKL. Whoa, what's the first big thing that's missing? A triangle. Let's take care of that. It doesn't even matter. I'm just drawing a regular triangle. J, K, L. It doesn't matter if you put your J in a different spot. Okay? K is 3 times the measure of J. L is 8 times the measure of J. Do we know what J is? So what are we going to put for J? X. And K is 3 times that. So what are you going to put there? 3x. L is 8 times. There we go. See, once we drew a picture, now is it a lot easier? Yeah. So what's our equation? Good. Combine like terms, so that would be what? 12x. And 180 divided by 12 is 15. So now, the only one I know is J. Angle J is 15. Angle K is 3 times 15, which is 45. And then 8 times 15 is 120. And then, again, one more time for good measure, 15 plus 45 plus 120. Does it equal 180? Yes. It does. Okay? Okay. So, again, y'all, this so far is last year, plus just making it a little harder, but it's still the skill that we learned last year. Is everybody okay? Okay. Now let's get into the new skill for this year, which is on the next page. Okay? Now we're going to talk about exterior angles of a triangle. All right. So far we know the sum of the interior 1, 2, and 3 equals 180. Now here's a really cool thing. Did you know that this guy right here, angle 4, is equal to the sum of those two guys? Yeah. And if you stop and think about that for a second, it makes sense because we know 1, 2, and 3 equal 180, right? So then you also know 3 and 4 equal 180 because they make a straight line. So you see, once you subtract the difference here, then that's going to give you the missing angle. We'll practice, promise. Okay, so let's fill this in. An exterior angle is formed by one side of a triangle and the extension of an adjacent side of the triangle. Notice, this is one side. Let me switch colors. This is one side of the triangle, and so these two angles are adjacent to each other. That's what they're saying. In the triangle to the right, angle 4 is an exterior angle because exterior means what? Outside. Okay. Remote interior angles. That's just what those are called. Okay. So remote interior angles are the two interior angles that are not adjacent to or touching the exterior angle. So in this picture above, angle 4 is the exterior angle, and then which ones are the remote interior angles? Angle 1 and angle 2. It's the ones that are not touching it. Okay. Okay, here we have our example. It says, in triangle ABC shown below, is there enough information to find the measure of the exterior angles? If so, find and label the angle measurements. Okay, number 1, find the sum of angle A and B. So A and B, that would be 50 plus 70 is 120. Where else do you see that measure? Do you see 120 anywhere else? Not yet, but could I? Actually, well, I kind of went a different order. Could I find the measure of angle 1 right now? How? Because it's a straight line. So you know that 180 minus 50 would be 130, right? Yeah? Okay. What about angle 2? Because 180, again, those two make a straight line. Are you all doing it with me? 180 minus 70 equals 110. Okay. And then what about angle 3? This is 120 because, again, 180 minus 60 equals 120. Does everybody see where I got those numbers? Okay. Now, when we found the sum of angle B, where else do we see 120? Angle 3. Do y'all see that? And see, look. Angle A and B is equivalent to this guy sitting out there. That's the exterior angle that is not adjacent to it. Okay? Let's look at the next one. How about the sum of B and C? B and C would be 70 plus 60, which is 130. Where do we see that? Angle 1. You see that? And then let's do one final one. A and C are, I can't see those numbers anymore, I've marked them up. 50 plus 60, which is 110. And where do we see 110? But the one that's opposite from there sticking out. Do y'all see that? That external angle? Angle 2. Okay? Now, the cool thing about this is, in my opinion, okay, this is a neat theorem that if you remember it, it makes it easy peasy. But is it the only way if you happen to forget? No, right? If, don't mark on this, I'm just going to show you. If I just happen to forget right now about this guy, right? Well, I mean, what I'm saying is the new thing we're learning is I could say 70 plus 50 equals this, and then we know the answer is 120, right? But if I wasn't, pretend I wasn't given that 60 right now. What else could I do to figure it out? Yeah, I could say that 70 plus 50 is 120, and then 180 minus 120 is 60, and then I know these guys make a straight line, so 180 minus 60 is 120. You see what I'm saying? So if you happen to forget the rule that this guy equals this guy, well, you can still figure it out using what you already knew from last year. Does that make sense? I just want to throw that out there because some people are like, oh, what's that one again? I forgot about it. What's it called? Oh, the remote interior angles. You're not going to forget that word. Okay? You're going to forget that. But I'm just showing you another way to do it. Okay? Okay, so conclusion. Any exterior angle is equal to the sum of its two remote, is the real word, but I like opposite, interior angles. Okay? Okay, let's work one. I don't like writing in the block. Okay. Find the value of x. Explain your reasoning. Well, using what we just learned, I know that 54 plus.
Wait, can't you say like that one's X?
You don't have that one?
No, we do.
Oh, okay.
You just say 180 minus 100.
That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for the value of x. Hang on, just go with me for a second. Pause. We'll come back to that. 54 plus x equals what? 115. I'm using what I just learned, which is these two guys here equal him out there, the remote interior angles. Okay, now I just subtract 54, and what do I get? 61. Okay, now what were you going to ask me? Couldn't I what?
Couldn't you say 180 minus 115 and have it?
Yes. Okay, so now I'm switching ink just because you don't need to copy this. Same problem. What she's saying is, couldn't you do 180 minus 115? And what's that? 61 to get that this was 61. Then 61. Oh, 65. I'm just listening to y'all. 65. So then you could do 65 plus 54 plus x equals 180, and then subtract to get there, right? But look how much more work we're doing. You see what I'm saying? This was in one step. This took more steps. That's all. You can still get there, but I just want to show you that doing it this way makes your life faster. That's all. Okay? So how about this one on number 3? Yeah, it's the sum of these two equals that one out there. So just 66 plus 50. That's it, 116 degrees. Easy, right? I think so. Okay. Okay, so for practice, I just want y'all to do the evens. The evens only on the front and the back. Because the front page you can see is practicing interior angles on a triangle. The back page is practicing the exterior angles on a triangle. Does everybody understand? You've got a space here for your equation and your work and the measure of each angle. So make sure you're doing what they're asking you to do. Here they're telling you measure of an angle. This one's going to be a little math lib where you fill in the letters down here. It's one of those corny jokes. What do you call a crushed angle? I don't know. You won't know it until tonight when you do your homework, okay? So evens only with a partner, then we're going to check. If you're at home, pause the video. So here we go. On the front, there are your answers for the evens on the front. So you had to not only find the x, but then you had to find the measure of each angle. Okay, do I need to work 2 or 4 from the front? For angle what? E? Angle E said it was 18x, and so then I'm 18. You solved for x. Did you get 7? 18 times 7 is 126.
I had 126 for F and 30.
I think you just labeled them wrong, maybe. Yeah. So be careful about that. Anything else on this page? Okay, on the back. Again, just the evens. On number 8, if you were like me and these guys over here, we were fooled because we were looking for the answer of 19, which meant we weren't reading carefully. It wanted the measure of that angle right there, which meant you had to plug it back in. Okay, but I'm pretty sure if 19 had been an answer choice on the bottom, or if it was like a quiz or something, I'm pretty sure a lot of us would have put 19 and we would have gotten that wrong and gotten partial credit. So always make sure that you read what they are actually looking for. Okay. Any of these? Do I need to talk about any of those?
Number 6.
Number 6, find the value of x. So then that would be 5x plus 2. I need to, y'all, I'll just forward. How did that even happen? Let me make this skinnier. Okay, 5x plus 2 plus 6x plus 4 equals 12x minus 4. So then 5x plus 6x would be 11x, plus 2 and a plus 4 is plus 6, 12x minus 4. Then I subtract 11x from both sides, which gives me x. I add 4 to both sides, which gives me 10. Okay. Anything else from the back side? 2, 4, 6, 8. Nothing? Did everyone figure out how to do the riddle part? So like number 8, the answer was 62, so that would be E. So number 8, you would put an E in here. So right now you should have half of the letters filled in. Okay, guys, your homework is to finish it, the odds, front and back. Make sure you're showing your work. ELT is 3rd period today. Remember, it changed, it's weird. And then I put this up here in case y'all didn't know. Hello? The new Imagine Math bonus is due on the 13th of February. So you got plenty of time. Okay?